I am at my goal, and it feels like the weight of years of doubt is finally off my shoulders. Having seen the dead tunnels and heard Kirill's story, I know something must be done to make sure Moscow does not end up like this. Saving the metro is not why I am going down this radioactive pit, though. Frankly, that's the least of my concerns now. Today I am not Colonel Miller, the commander of the Order of Sparta. I'm just an old father, ready to do anything to save his children, like any father is supposed to. Like Khlebnikov did before me.
Hello everyone, Shadefire here, and welcome back to Let's Play Metro Exodus 2 Colonels DLC. This is episode 3, and last time we saw the death of pretty much everybody in the Novosibirsk Metro, as they released poison gas on each other, shot each other up a bunch, and presumably blew up the train before it could leave. So now we're heading down into the Institute, I believe, to find, I guess, the map and the green stuff? Because they were running out of green stuff and he wanted to leave Novosibirsk.
OSKOM soldiers, you have accepted a mission of absolute secrecy and utmost importance. To recover a map of a region with tolerable levels of radioactive pollution from the Satellite Communication Center's archive. Circumstantial data suggests that special attention must be paid to maps detailing Lake Baikal. So far, our efforts have been consistently proving fruitless. But now, you must be successful, no matter the cost. I can't disclose the ultimate goal of this search at the moment, but I'll have you know that lives of all the Metro dwellers depend on it. This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Good luck, gentlemen.
I think that was a joke. But yeah, so we were told about this in the first episode, that we would need to get these maps, but I guess they never actually sent Khlebnikov to go get them. They sent other OSKOM. I must have missed a lot of notes based on this. The Colonel's off his rocker. He wants us to go back to the comm center and get more maps so the brass in the HQ can sit around looking important. Nobody cares if we catch a couple of lethal doses each looking for the stupid things. The bunker's bad news. Radiation's so high the guys just call it the egg boiler. Then there's the mutants too. Most of them are nothing special, but there have been sightings of blind giants. Probably the reason several groups went missing. This place sucks, just like this mission. At least they're giving us enough green stuff. That's got to count for something, especially nowadays. So yeah, we are going to have more of the blind ones down here, which, considering how resilient they were, I'm not sure the flamethrower is going to do much more than irritate them, but maybe it'll scare them off. I mean, after all, despite the fact that fire doesn't really harm a xenomorph, they don't seem to like it. Okay, we got a map here. Looks pretty straightforward. Don't make noise. Well, that was the case at the end of Exodus. I mean, the blind ones may be a different kind of mutant, but they really are fairly similar to the librarians. Aside from the stare-down thing, since they don't have eyes. Though it was never clear to me how psychic they actually were at the end of the game. I feel like there were some things happening in Novosibirsk that were never explained, like the giant glowing ball, which I guess is just an anomaly. Or it could have been a radiation hallucination. Artyom was losing his shit at the end of the game. This is where we keep our skull. That skull doesn't actually... It's just kind of fused with that piece of metal.
All personnel are to evacuate the complex immediately.
Has that been running for 20 years? Radiation, no entry. Here's some crunching snow. There shouldn't be any snow down here, but that means there's probably a hole. Or it could be crunching bones, I guess. Okay, we're not going that way. Cut through this truck repair. Really? This stuff is making a sludge noise? I mean, the nice thing with these guys being blind is that we don't have to creep around in the dark. We can actually keep our light on. Alright. Nothing tucked away in this corner. Just avoid this bucket. Okay, there is one about, but it sounds like it's above me.
System will reboot now. All personnel are to evacuate the complex immediately. All personnel are to evacuate the complex immediately. Attention. Reactor biological shielding is compromised. All
Biological
personnel are to
shielding?
evacuate the complex immediately.
Alright, so it's fairly radioactive over here. Enough for us to see these green spots.
All personnel are to evacuate the complex immediately. Biological shielding compromised. Initiating reactor shutdown. Reactor containment failure. Switching to reserve power.
I wonder if it's just cycling like this. Unless the reactor failure is recent, but it would have had to have been
Reactor containment failure. Reserve power.
pretty automatic to last this long. I mean, there's no way that you can have nuclear material that lasts for 20 years if it's powering this place. Happened to your knee. I used to be a stalker like you. Okay, well, we're getting plenty of materials and ammo. You can just crawl through here. Probably safer. And again, to add to my point of this being kind of like a condensed Metro experience, we also have these kind of horror-y atmospheric sections before we actually see anything. Though I suppose we won't get to see any unique creatures in this. Unless there's some kind of specific weird thing down here.
System reboot imminent. System reboot preparation. 20% complete.
Okay, those are Nosalises. Those I can kill with a flamethrower. Flamethrower is pretty beefy. And it seems to set them on fire perpetually. You don't like that, do you? Suppose that's why there's so many holes around here. though it is a much worse weapon against Nosalises, because they're so fast.
System reboot complete. Switching to main power source.
Doesn't look like I'm using too much pressure with these little bursts. I think I still have the large pressure tank equipped. Oh shit. Back! Get back. Alright, doors open. I guess they don't want to go any further. That was neat. Wipe the ashes off of my mask.
All personnel are to evacuate the complex immediately. Reactor containment area. Reserve power engaged.
Do you think it sees me?
All personnel are to evacuate the complex immediately.
What? That door just kind of zooped open through him. I do like this, like, kind of not completely dead power bunker, though. The way it's cycling on and off.
Reserve power failure. Switching to main power.
Still on fire, huh? Alright, well, we're good on fuel, but I might have to switch. Okay, I'm using the automatic right now.
Reactor containment failure. Reserve power engaged.
Yeah, I guess I don't have the big one that I had before. Alright, well, let's switch to airtight. Oh no, it's the big tank I'm thinking of. Okay, let's just make another med kit. I could just make, like, endless fuel. I don't think we're gonna need 1,000 fuel, but I could be wrong.
All personnel are to evacuate the complex immediately.
Alright, I'm recording, so tell how it all happened. Well, we went down to the second level. There was this hole, not too huge one, either. Some old equipment all over the place. So we just went forward, all careful, like, taking the guys, just like the train, really. It was quiet at first, but once we reached the midpoint, the freaking mutants jumped us from all sides at once. From the freaking ceilings, the walls, where cable tunnels and shit were, everywhere. We were surrounded before we knew it. Petrov, the leader, told us to form a circle to fight back. We gave them the old flame treatment that pushed them back some. So we thought it was all under control. Then a freaking giant heard the noise and came crashing from somewhere above. Before we as much as moved a finger, it already took out half the mutants and our guys alike. The team lead was crushed at once. Sasha the short got thrown into a pillar so hard his skull cracked. Then the beast got distracted by some mutants. It went chasing after them and Shiv and me ran for the exit. But I reached it alone.
I guess he was Shiv out of luck. Why is that down here, though? Did they, like, bring the tape with them? I can't imagine they were interviewing him in this tunnel. Alright, I might have actually maxed out my fuel at 999.
Reserve power source failing.
I thought I heard more behind me, which is why I turned around to the obvious source of the noise. Okay, power flicked back on. Are you dead, or are you just dancing? Alright. So, again, this hasn't been too difficult so far. I haven't really run out of medkits or anything. But that's fine. As long as you're playing carefully, I guess it's not that hard to avoid damage. Unlike Exodus, where you had the open areas with respawning enemies. The old reports were correct. It does look like the reactor is still functioning. The place still has power. That reactor also seems to be leaking. Otherwise, where could all this radiation be coming from? That power doesn't make our lives much easier, though. Had it been regular, it certainly would, but as it is, it just comes on and off randomly and can't be relied on. The guys are already telling scary stories about the souls of the dead messing with the controls. It's all a load of crap, of course. The place is just all rusty and rotten, so its machinery has gone awry. I don't really know how a Russian person would say awry, so I ended up at Ari. Oh. He was a spicy one. He actually jumped at me while on fire.
System reboot imminent.
Okay, well, the arrow is telling me to go that way. But there's also a whole other way over here. Some map tubes. How did you get that close to me without me seeing you? Oh, there's another one. They are fairly sneaky. Harder to see when they have black skin instead of pink.
System reboot preparation is success complete.
It would be funny if, after talking about how it's not too tough, I then waste all my medkits and die. Okay.
All personnel are to evacuate the complex immediately.
I guess that's a mod we don't have. Is it just going to be an even bigger tank? Okay, so this is a dead end. Nice of them to leave us marks as they died off one by one on where to go.
System will reboot now. All personnel are to evacuate the complex.
That was a bad time to try to get that last bit of pumping in. I was like, oh, I can just do this real quick before they get to me.
Reserve power engaged. System reboot imminent.
I don't know how I missed so many notes, though. I feel like I've been thorough, but it also seems like you have to get pretty close to a note to get the prompt to pick it up. Okay, there's the map board. Can't be that far from where we need to be. I mean, you would have thought that they would have found a map eventually if they did actually evacuate in that train, or try to. Can't imagine they left without a destination.
System reboot preparation.
Well, it doesn't help us if we weren't actually on the train.
System reboot complete. Switching to main power source.
Oop. This is where I'm gonna need all the ammo I picked up. Oh, please reload faster. Your flamethrower can't damage things covered by water. It also says we're not immune to fire when we're not wearing the suit, but I think we're wearing that same flamethrower suit now.
System reboot preparation is 60.
Extended tank. Super heavy and uncomfortable to use. Well, that probably just means the reload is really slow. But as long as we have more fuel, we don't need to reload. 1,000 fuel. Yeah, I definitely didn't see this workbench on the way.
All personnel are to evacuate
Alright.
the complex immediately.
So I'm gonna put my back to a wall here,
Switching to main power source.
so I don't drop on my head this time. Unless they come out of this one directly above me, but...
Reactor containment system. Reserve power assured. Reserve
What? It's got like zoomed forwards.
complex immediately.
Oh, I was hoping I caught him throwing that thing.
Attention. Reactor
I think he knows I'm here already.
containment failure. Switching to reserve power.
I'm like, being quiet's probably not gonna help. I'm back here again.
System reboot preparation is 40% complete. System reboot preparation is
So I guess I'll just set him on fire when he appears, since he already knows I'm there.
system reboot complete. Switching to main power source.
This is a better corner because it doesn't have a gate above it.
Reactor containment. Reserve
But yeah, you just get like sucked into this QTE. Well, it's not even a QTE, it's just a cutscene.
Reactor shutdown. All personnel are to evacuate. Reactor biological shielding detected. Reactor containment area.
That was a deer noise.
All personnel are to evacuate the complex.
Did we set off the fire measures? Or did that just open a hole to the outside? Alright, I guess we're stuck in this room cooking these guys all day. We'll have a right proper cookout. Okay. Alright. Pretty sure that was supposed to happen. Uh-oh. Goodbye, flamethrower. You've served me well.
All personnel are to evacuate the complex immediately.
Alright. No weapon. No light. Lots of radiation. I think we're in a pretty bad way. Good news! We reached the archive. Bad news. The blind giants seem to have made it their lair. Luckily, there was nobody home, so we at least took a look around. The shelves are trashed. The maps are all in heaps. It's going to take us at least a few days to make anything out of this mess. And the new tenants could come back any moment. Something tells me they aren't going to be all too happy to find us cataloging the archives without their permission. To make matters worse, radiation is off the scale in the archive. We spent 5 minutes there, then took a month's share of green stuff each, and I'm still queasy. I'll have to ask the Colonel to arrange a bonus for us all, otherwise we'll all keep glowing in the dark for months. Of course, we grabbed as many maps as we could carry while we were there. Let the guys at the HQ sort them out. That at least would give them something to do. In any case, the mission is complete as it ever could be. And if someone thinks he can do better, he's welcome to try. I, for one, am not setting a foot in that grave ever again if I can help it.
Reserve power source failing.
I think I'm starting to die from the immense radiation.
To main power source. System reboot imminent.
Gotta get this mission done. Though I do wonder how much we have left, because I heard this is about 3 to 4 hours, and I feel like we're not quite at that point yet. So I'm still wondering if we're going to come here as Miller. Or if it's just going to be a cutscene of him being like, I found the map! Graceful landing. The tantalizing final map tube. They took all of the ones with the one you need.
System will reboot now.
Well, don't put them back, just drop them on the floor.
All personnel are to evacuate the complex immediately. All personnel are to evacuate the complex immediately. Biological shielding compromised. Initiating reactor shutdown.
Oh, he actually did bring some green stuff with him.
Wait, could this be?
Power source failing.
I think I'm dying, but I better not save myself until I'm sure this is the right map.
Kirill, this is it. I found it.
I got the map. Could it look any more radioactive down here?
Reserve power failure. Switching to main power source. All personnel to evacuate the complex.
Stumbling through the haze. Surrounded by corpses and weird monkeys. Apes.
Switching to main power source. System reboot complete. Switching to main power source.
They don't seem like they're doing much better. Oh no. Quickly, lick up as much of it as you can. This is as far as we go. But I suppose this is where Miller's gonna find it.
Kirill, I'm coming back. I just need a tiny bit of rest. I'm just so tired.
You tried your best. But we knew that was inevitable from the beginning. That neither of our two colonels is going to make it out of this alive. I guess that blind one died from the lack of arm, because you can see its corpse is still there. It kind of seems like something saved him. Or tried to. There was that bright flash before the blind one went down.
There you are, brother. You found the maps and took a break, I see.
He's
I need a breather, too.
not even wearing his mask.
Boy, did these hunks of iron chafe. Gotta watch out not to stay for too long, though. Your son sent me here, told where to look. He's tough. Your Kirill. Yes.
It's a little creepy here with the corpse POV.
Children. It's always about them. I'm here because of my daughter. She's smart, strong, kind, beautiful. I can't even tell you how proud I am of her. And how much I love her. I'm trying to be a father, but end up a colonel. It's as if by showing affection, I'd also show my vulnerability. Not just to her husband too. At first, I even thought that boy was
Being a
alright.
father is the thread that kind of
Obsession
connects
with
these two.
truth started driving me mad. He kept risking his life while he had the love of the best woman in the world.
More than being a colonel.
Decent people want normal things. A thicker broth, a warm place to call home, and healthy children. But he wants truth. Let me glance at those maps. Boy, was I mad at him. But then I took a closer look at the world and re-examined my life up to that point somewhat. Especially when I heard your story. I saw my past self in you, friend. We both served the great lie because we both made ourselves believe it was necessary. And if not for him, I would have ended up like you did. But now, finally, my life has a real purpose for a change. All because I can finally look the truth in the eye. I think you understand.
You really should put your mask back
Thank
on.
you for the maps. Don't think it was all in vain. You saved us all. And Kirill, I'll give him this watch and make sure he gets out of this hellhole. You have my word. Well, it's time. Farewell, Colonel Khlebnikov. Rest easy.
He's like, oh, I've got the green stuff. I don't need a mask.
Artyom, stay with me. Hold on, son.
And so it ends. I guess we never did get to play as Miller. I thought we might have gotten one final section of him succeeding where Khlebnikov failed. But I think that was pretty good. You know, it wasn't too long, but it was definitely longer than most of the previous DLCs for the first two games. I guess the first game didn't really have story DLC, it just had the Ranger. But it was longer than any of the individual chapters that they released for Metro Last Light. And I think it really was a good little compressed Metro experience. You know, we got a lot of the little parts of what makes a Metro game. Aside from a voyage through the upper city, but since the Metro itself here was super irradiated, we pretty much got the whole masked up experience there anyway. Though weirdly, never had to manage a gas mask. Not even sure anyone was really wearing one most of the time. But I think that's just down to the, you know, green stuff being the cure for radiation, so they didn't really worry about filters. And I think that maybe would have added a little unnecessary management to a fairly short DLC. Because none of those sections by themselves were long enough where it'd be like, oh, I gotta worry about how much filter time I had left. So I think that was good. It was, you know, it had a good little dab of emotional bit as well at the end there with Miller having his heart-to-heart. Because we never really saw too much of that from him until he was already dead, and we talked to his, I guess, ghost. So yeah, I enjoyed that, and I am still looking forward to the second DLC, the one focusing on Sam after the end of the main game. And of course the thank you here for when they had to shift offices to get away from the war zone that Ukraine became, and move to Malta, where that kind of thing isn't really going to happen anytime soon. Which is good, because there's some stories from the 4A development studio about the trouble of being a game developer in Ukraine, you know, the time that they tried to buy new chairs for the offices and then the government just stole them for themselves. So they had to basically sneak new chairs in the next time. It's weird that Artyom has a voice cast, but I guess that's just all of his grunts and various sounds he makes. Steve Blum. Also weird that we're getting the full voice credits, even though most of these characters did not appear. mean, there's Kirill's voice actor. Who's Dr. Death? I don't even remember. But yeah, that was a little shorter than I thought it was going to be. But not too short and not too long. It was just a comfortable length experience. And again, for me personally, it's nice that it's not too long because there's so much stuff I'm trying to do next week. I was hoping to get this done, you know, in a couple days after it came out, which I have done. Even if it's only, 3 episodes? But that's a nice cozy length. They're about an hour each videos. So, with that bit of story filled in from the existing story, we're pretty much done with all of the stuff that takes place before the end of Exodus. But we're not quite done with Metro because in whatever amount of months before the Sam DLC comes out, which doesn't have a name or anything yet, we will be returning to Metro and seeing exactly how he finds his way back to America, which I assume he'll go to Vladivostok and find a boat, but we'll get the specifics of that. So until then, I've been Shadefire, and thank you for joining me once again in the world of Metro 2033. Take care, everyone.